is going to be just a little bit different. There is a lot that has happened to me in 2017 and even the very beginning of 2018 that has changed me and has basically even changed who I am. In February, my brother was executed. It's even hard to still say. I still cannot believe that I can't write him and he'll write me back. I still can't even believe that that was the last letter that I got the day after he got executed. Let's go back to the very beginning. Now, a lot of you that have followed me for a while know how I got started in the whole psychic and missing persons field. Missing persons is actually how I got started, how I actually came out of the psychic closet. I've been psychic my whole life, but how I came out of the actual psychic closet has everything to do with this particular case. I was working downtown as a child support clerk. I was going through law school, still trying to get that degree. I had been going for a while. It took me 9 years to get through law school. I had reached out to someone that I worked with about a particular case that was actually in the newspaper. Even though I was right on that case, I had asked her not to say anything to anybody. So that was kind of the first time I had ever came out and told somebody that I worked with actually the abilities that I had. Well, nothing came of it. She never said anything, and we actually stayed really good friends for a really long time. Another case came about. This time it was a big murder case where I lived. This time I reached out to someone that I thought was my friend. It was a man, and I'm not going to say his name. He knows who he is. And I reached out and told him what I felt about the case. Apparently what I had said had not got shared with the public at all. So he then told his supervisor, who then came to approach me and ask me what was going on. So me working there, I felt obligated to have to talk to this man. Okay, now mind you, I'm still in law school. That was before I knew like the actual law of get a lawyer or whatever. You know, I'm young and naive. And they again said, you know too much about the case. This hasn't been public. What's going on? Who do you know? Do you know who did it? And they really grilled me for like a really long time. Everything kind of went dead for a while, for a few months, and nobody really said anything, and that case really kind of stalled. So me and my husband at the time were already moving to Clearwater, Florida. I lived in Clearwater as a child. My mom had a condo in Clearwater. I had been there multiple times, and we wanted to go live there, basically. Have the Florida dream, I guess. So we went to Clearwater. And while we were in Clearwater, we realized that there was an arrest warrant out for not only me, but my husband dealing with this case. Here's where things go really bad. And this is another story, but I'm going to add this in there. Me and my husband had basically gotten a big argument over it, accusing me of getting him in the middle of something that he had nothing to do with. And I didn't, but apparently he thought I did. He was a very abusive man anyway. We fought all the time anyway. He was not a good man. But after he got arrested, I was kind of like on my own. I realized I had an arrest warrant out for me and was basically on the streets of Florida for 9 days trying to find a way back to where I lived so I could talk to these detectives because I did not want to be arrested in Florida. I had heard horror stories about Florida prison. My husband had just got sent there and I was scared. I wanted to come home. So I called my brother, and my brother was coming up to get me, driving 18 hours from where I lived to pick me up. And again, this is a whole nother story, but they asked me what I knew about the case. I told them what I saw in my vision, which they didn't believe I even had vision, so they weren't buying that at all. And so I ended up getting in trouble. They ended up charging me with obstruction of justice, saying that I wouldn't talk, and they were going to hold me there till I did talk. After about a month, the lawyer I had, who was a horrible lawyer, by the way, which made me even want to be a lawyer more, told me I should lie. I should tell them that I made the whole thing up. Because if I don't, they're going to hold me there and may even try to charge me with the crime. So he told me to tell the judge that I lied, that I basically committed perjury. So I Went before the judge. I told him I made the whole thing up. I must have heard something from some friends or on the news or something and made the rest up. And I got charged with perjury. I did 4 months in jail. And when I got out, I was bound and determined that this was not going to happen to anybody else again. Well, during the time that I was locked up, I found out that my brother had got locked up. He had got arrested in Indiana and extradited back to Florida for a crime that he claims he didn't do. And I believe him, because the weird thing is that we were so close. And the story he told me made 10 times more sense than the story they said. I'm not saying he was a good guy. I'm not saying he didn't do bad things. I'm not even saying that, you know, he'd made bad choices in his life. You know, I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is what they were accusing him of doing at that time in Florida was not true. I guess he had went to Florida, kind of got into some trouble, and when he came back, you know, they were looking for him and all that. But let me say this. I'm not saying that bad things didn't happen. I'm not saying that he didn't, you know, that's a whole nother video, because I will be doing a video on it, just not in this video. But he did not deserve what he got. You know, he did not deserve to be executed. Why we're doing this video is because after I was let out of jail, I was pregnant at the time also. I was pregnant with my daughter Jasmine at the time. When I got out of jail and after I had Jasmine, I went back to law school. I continued to work downtown. You know, I didn't have a felony. I just had a misdemeanor and a perjury, and most people knew that I was railroaded. And I started working in the prosecutor's office, in the legal aid office. I was approached by someone higher up in the federal department that wanted to talk to me about the case and what they had read and what I had said. And basically my friend, the first friend, the female who I was really good friends with and stayed friends for a really long time, had her husband actually works in this department, and she had told him and he had told his superior, and they wanted to talk to me and kind of wanted to test me, I guess. He basically put this bogus case in front of me but didn't tell me it was bogus. He basically wanted me to help him with the case. I basically looked up at him and said, this is BS. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know why you bring this to me and it's completely fake. He's looking at me like, maybe this girl has something, you know? So then he puts another case in front of me. And I guess it's like a 20-year-old case where some lady had got shot in it wasn't a 7-Eleven, it was like a Bustler's or something. And he put that in front of me and he wanted to know my thoughts on that. I basically told him what I thought, things that weren't in the paper, things that were never released, things I couldn't have known. So apparently I've either committed the other murder and I've committed this murder too, or I really have some type of a gift and can tell you things. After that, I didn't hear from him again for it was about 3 or 4 months. So I kind of just blew it off and didn't think anything else about it until I got to work one day and I had this letter in my inbox to walk over to the building next door, which was the federal building, and go talk to this man. And he offers me a job as a special investigator. So I was this special paid investigator that would help them with cold cases, okay? And so I did that for 9 years. For 9 years, I signed these year after year contracts with these people being paid far less than I'm worth to help him take credit for cases that I did. But they got the credit of being able to wrap them up and close them. I did that for 9 years. 9 years. Out of that 9 years, I never asked for one favor. I never told anybody any case I was working on. I never said anything to anybody. I continued to work downtown. I continued to do my family law. I continued to do my child support cases. I continued to be this good little girl that did what she was told and didn't get paid enough to care, with a big family to support. I did that for 9 years. Out of that 9 years, I only asked for one favor: to help my brother either get a new trial or get life in prison instead of the death penalty. He was so railroaded in his case. If you guys, and I will go over his case, but if you guys could even see a fourth of his docket, you would be outraged. You would be outraged at what happened with him in this case. How he basically got railroaded by these people, helping them solve case after case. You know, with my abilities that they claim they don't have people that work for them that do that. BS on one of them. No, I didn't get rewards. No, I didn't get compensation except for my paycheck. No, I didn't get any of this stuff. But I was part of something bigger, and I was proud to do it. I thought that that was me working for my city, my state, my country. That was what I was doing. So I played this small psychic in a small town that did readings here and there, didn't really sell a lot of readings, you know. I would run a sale, nobody'd buy them. So I mean, I wasn't that big. I wasn't really out there, you know. I was more concerned about my work downtown than I was anybody knowing me or paying me online. That's basically what was happening. They knew the case was BS. They knew they could do something about it. They had every ability, every opportunity. They had all the rights, all the, you know, superior rights. They could have made a change. They could have got a new case. They could have had a second look. They could have, you know, anything, give him life. But you execute him. And what's crazy is that you stayed everybody else. Here's my thought, okay? Work with me. In 2017, I signed a TV contract. I signed not one, but 2 contracts. Season 1 and Season 2 with like 6 series each, okay? They were pissed. They were so pissed. They told me to quit, but I didn't, because here's why. I have kids. I have bills. You don't want to pay me what I'm worth. I've done this for 9 years. I've done everything you've asked me to do. So I signed the TV contracts. I don't re-sign a contract with them. And now they won't help me? Or now they pass this law where everybody gets life but him. The day before, I called my boss. I begged him like a little girl. I begged him to save my brother's life. I begged him anything. I would sign a 3-year contract, a 5-year contract, a 10-year contract, a lifetime contract. I would work for free. I didn't care. Just save my brother's life. I will do everything I can to prove that he deserved not to be there if you gave me the chance. Now, mind you, I've been asking for this for 20 plus years, and they always said, oh, it's in appeals, or he has to do this, or there's steps he has to go through. I did all that. I listened to him. I trusted him. They had the ability to do it. And before you say, oh, he probably did something where he deserved to die, you know, I've read comments like they should have fried him sooner, or, you know, they should have cut his head off when he first got arrested. I mean, I have read every cruel comment that you guys could ever think of. That's why I disabled comments here, because I don't want to hear it anymore. People do things. People do bad things. People do things are wrong, but that doesn't give you the right to play God and murder them. That, you know, that doesn't give you the right. And I am against capital punishment, and I was before this even happened. And if you are, that's great. Go do you. I probably had that same attitude before it happened in my family, until you really start to realize that there's a lot of people being railroaded, not only on death row, but people that are doing life, or people that are doing 40 plus years and they basically didn't do it, or they're railroaded. Now, mind you, probably about 85% of them, maybe even 90, are guilty and did it and probably deserve what they get. But the ones who didn't should not be going through this. And we as a people should not be putting up with this. We should not just be letting these people do time for things they either didn't do or things they got railroaded for. I know. I was there. They put me in jail for something I had nothing to do with. Nothing to do with. I did 4 months in jail, pregnant, for something I didn't do. And then I had this lawyer tell me to lie, say that I was a liar, that I committed perjury, just so I could get out, because that judge was not going to let me go any other way. So I went against everything that I was, lied and said I lied, just to get out of jail because I was pregnant. Had I not been pregnant, I probably would have fought till the very end. But because I was pregnant, my baby did not deserve to be born in jail. My inner core being has changed. My look on humanity has changed. My outlook on other people and situations has changed. I'm not so quick to judge now. I'm not so quick to speak now. I more sit back and observe. And then I realized that 9 years I spent doing these cases and nobody even knew it was me doing them. I allowed them to keep their dirty little secret is what I did. I allowed them to keep their dirty little secret. And when I needed them to help me, they weren't there. So no, I did not sign another contract. I'm probably going to lose all the contracts I have now just from doing these videos that I'm getting ready to do. But you know what? I am so tired. I am so tired of it. I'll probably lose a lot of subscribers. I'll probably lose a lot of friends. I'll probably lose a lot of people, but you know what? I'm gonna stand up. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over psychics being dirty little secrets. I'm over the government saying they don't use us for anything. I'm basically over it. This jumps to the next part of this video. I am going to start a video series. I am going to look at not only high profile cases, but other cases in small towns and everywhere. And I'm going to use the abilities that I used for the federal government for 9 years to help these people. So if that means find evidence they didn't know about, find who really did it, or whatever it is I got to do, that is what I'm doing. And if you know anybody that you think has been railroaded, send me the case. Me as one person may not be able to fix the world, but I'm going to fix it one case at a time, the best I can. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting me and standing by my side.
All the lights go passing by, and all my thoughts, they multiply. I see it flash before my